Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope your day is off to a fantastic start. It is another candle review day here on my channel, which means that you are going to see, in today's case, 3 different reviews that will be going up throughout the day. Honestly, I have a lot of candles that have officially reached the halfway point, which makes me comfortable personally filming reviews of them and sharing them with you guys. So the 3 reviews that will be going up today are obviously, first we're going to be chatting about this Bath & Body Works Wildberry and Ube, but you will also see a Homeworks candle review a little bit later on today, and then after that a new crinkle candle review as well. So if you're not already subscribed, do so with that subscribe button right below this video, and also don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. So let's go ahead and dive into Bath & Body Works Wildberry and Ube. First of all, this is a case of a candle for me where the performance of it is pretty abysmal, but I like the scent so much that despite the fact that, and you'll see, I'll show you what's happening, that despite the fact that this candle is basically going to have to be retired to a candle crock after this video, I would still consider repurchasing it because I love the scent so much. But I would full well repurchase it knowing that I could probably only burn it to about the halfway point before, again, I would have to retire it to a candle crock. If you don't know what a candle crock is, I will link my candle crock and candle lamp 101 video in the description box down below. I feel like by now most people are familiar with both of those candle accessories, but I utilize them pretty regularly to not just, enjoy home fragrance in general by, melting it versus burning it, but it's also a great way for me to get some life out of candles that, where I, for example, really enjoy the fragrance, but they just don't burn really well. Maybe they're really sooty, maybe they get puny wick syndrome, maybe the wax just becomes really discolored and kind of gross looking. I don't know, there's a number of things that can obviously go wrong with a candle. And I find that for me with Bath & Body Works, it's still a little bit hit and miss these days, but at the right price point, i.e. $12.95, and with a 20% off coupon, I am much more likely to purchase a candle just to pop into a candle crock from the get-go. I do think that the price point at $12.95 plus 20% off is fair for a candle, even if you are having to crock it. Is it ideal? No, but are things like really changing at Bath & Body Works? I don't know. I definitely have some winners, but I also still have some candles that are doing what this guy here is doing. And we will definitely look in depth at what's happening here towards the end of the video after we talk about the fragrance, the strength and the throw, and then we'll get into these performance issues here. So, Wildberry and Ube. Okay, so this particular scent I was really intrigued by. I actually did not smell this before purchasing it. I saw it online Super Bowl Sunday, placed an order for in-store pickup, and as soon as I got my nose into this one, I just knew that this was my kind of scent. It is very authentic. It's not overly sweet, but it smells yummy. Honestly, this fragrance smells borderline edible. So the fragrance notes are pretty simple. We have here fresh wild berries, purple ube, and creamy vanilla. So the fragrance notes are pretty simple, and I feel like the fragrance is pretty straightforward. The Wildberry concoction that I'm personally smelling here seems to be a combination of, I feel like, a strawberry, blueberry, raspberry combo. That's what the Wildberry is coming across as to my nose. The berry notes aren't overly sweet, but they smell just really authentic, and like you are sticking your nose into like a little fruit salad made from those 3 particular berries. It is really, really delicious. And when you combine that with the ube, which if you are not familiar with ube, I believe that ube actually originated in the Philippines. It's used a lot in Filipino cooking. It's also used a lot throughout certain like Polynesian countries as well. So for example, when we went to Hawaii, there were a ton of dishes that had purple ube, and it included everything from savory dishes to even like dessert like options. Like I had ube ice cream when we were in Hawaii, and it was so good, you guys. And it just is the most beautiful shade of purple. So basically an ube looks like a purple sweet potato. It's a little bit different in its like taste profile. So the ube has a slight nuttiness to it, as well as like almost like a vanilla type of creamy taste as well. It's really interesting, and it lends itself beautifully to dessert dishes. Like, I just thought it was such an interesting flavor, and I really liked it. And as someone who just likes basically all potatoes in general in whatever form, it was kind of neat to try something like ube, because I had never had it up until that point, and it is delicious. So if you ever have a chance to maybe try ube ice cream or like just an ube dessert or something like that, you should definitely check it out, because it is a very unique, delicious flavor. So if you didn't know what an ube tasted or smelled like, think kind of nutty, think kind of vanilla. It's good. So anyway, so I do smell that little bit of like that ube in here, and it's interesting because they do mention creamy vanilla. So I don't know if that vanilla that I'm smelling in here is the vanilla that they quote unquote added with the creamy vanilla note, or if that vanilla is actually coming from the ube itself, because again, it does have a vanilla-like flavor to it, and it does have just a touch of sweetness to it as well, and that little bit of nuttiness. So I can smell the ube, and I can definitely get vanilla at the same time. So in terms of just the fragrance that you're getting here, it is quite true to the name. So I'm very curious to see what some other people think of like what the Wildberry concoction is, but it really smells like strawberry, blueberry, and raspberry to my nose. So let me know if you smell a different berry combination in the comments down below. And just in general, let me know what you think about this scent. And more importantly, let me know what you think about the performance of yours, because that's what I'm really kind of interested in. I feel like a lot of people warned me about this one, and that I would probably have to put it in a candle crock. So if you were one of those people that warned me, thank you, and you were right, as you guys usually are. So strength and throw. Listen, that for me is kind of just as like great as the fragrance is. The strength of this I would put at like a solid, let's say 7.5. Bath & Body Works candles used to actually be a little bit stronger for me. They're not quite as potent anymore, but 7.5 I think is still a fair number for a 3-wick candle like this. The throw, I would put probably right around a 7 as well. It is absolutely a room filler, and it does travel quite a bit outside of whatever area I'm burning it. So much so that I do want to be mindful about any other candles that I have lit, you know, in another part of the house, because this will, like I mentioned, travel a little bit, and if it meets maybe something that is more of like a fresh kind of fragrance, I don't think it would be a very good combination. So overall, I'm gonna give the fragrance 2 thumbs up. I'm gonna give the strength and throw, I don't know, I mean, it's adequate. Would I like even a little bit more? Probably, but it's fine the way that it is. So I'm gonna give that 2 thumbs up as well. But now let's get to the part which just continually seems to frustrate me when it comes to Bath & Body Works candles. They either perform really well in terms of the wicks not dudding out, the wicks not getting sooty, the wax staying, you know, whatever color the wax is supposed to be. But this one it's kind of doing all the wrong things. So I'm seeing quite a bit of discoloration in the wax, and I'm also seeing some sooting starting to accumulate on the side of the jar. So this one definitely needs to be retired after this burn. This has those really thick rope-like wicks that Bath & Body Works tends to use on a lot of the fragrance that I personally gravitate towards. So there's a lot of like fruity scents, there's a lot of gourmand scents that usually end up with these thicker wicks, and they just dud out on me almost every single time. Like sometimes there's an exception, but almost, like I would say 9 times out of 10, I have to put these candles in a crock. They just get so dirty. Now the wicks on this one haven't gotten to the point where it got puny wick syndrome, but let's take a look at the overhead shot here because it is a little bit depressing. So you can see the discoloration on the side of the jar there. Oh yeah, there we go. Now that it's really focusing, you can see that. You can also see the discoloration from the wicks. So this is basically, I believe, the carbon residue from the wicks falling back into the wax. Over time, that will affect the fragrance itself. And before it gets to that point, I want to put this in a candle crock because once I get it in a crock, it's going to be fine. But you can see just the amount of like soot and everything that's accumulating here. I don't know if this is just because these candles burn really hot. I don't know why these Bath & Body Works candles do this, but it is really frustrating. I'd love to just be able to finish this one by burning it, but I'm not willing to mess up the walls in my house in this place. I've mentioned before that at our last house there was so much soot that accumulated on the walls and the ceilings because I really didn't pay attention to stuff like this. This is why I'm so big now on like the overall burn quality. Because it was really expensive to repaint that house myself. But here I had to hire painters because the ceilings are so high and there was just no way for me to get up there. And I don't have the money to do that again anytime soon. So I need to be very mindful about the way that candles are behaving in my house. And this one is just not behaving. So off to the crock she goes, but I'm still gonna give it a thumbs up for just being really yummy and something that I will seek out again, but full well knowing that I might just want to pop it into the crock to begin with. And that's fine. Again, I don't see the candle crock as a waste. It is, you know, a source of 24/7 fragrance output for me. It's kind of like the wallflowers, right? You plug those in and then you just have, well, the idea is to have continuous fragrance. Those usually dud out on me too, but yeah, that's what a candle crock is to me. It's just, it's like a wallflower. It just goes and goes until, you know, all the fragrance oils dissipate out of the wax. And then, you know, I feel like I've gotten the enjoyment that I have personally paid for with that particular fragrance. Anyway, you guys, I feel like that's all I need to say here. I am curious about your take on this one, so leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I appreciate you being here. Again, don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned for the other 2 candle reviews going up a little bit later on today. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo!